How does one who makes a video about all the physical Switch releases on any given week make a video about it when there is absolutely none? Zero, zilch, nada. Some may even say the magical sum of all. Well, I decided to ask our executive producers for help. So yes, not only do they give us money, but now they're doing the writing too. That is a win for me personally. I put the call out to those guys and asked them what their most highly anticipated Switch game of this coming year is, as long as it's a physical release. So yeah, this is their voice, not mine. I mean, I might put my opinion in there a little bit, but these are their choices, not my choices whatsoever. I have zero responsibility, even more win. So firstly, let's start with our most recent executive producer, Grantsert, who picked out a game that I am definitely interested in as well, the long-awaited sequel to Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Yeah, Sparks of Hope is finally releasing this year. I can't believe it's going to be like, what, 5 years between sequels? I mean, they must have been doing something else in between. They had pretty much the groundwork from the last game done already, so this is either going to be a massive overhaul or something that's going to completely annihilate your expectations. Either way, it looks great, and I cannot goddamn wait either. Our executive producer Elisa also picked another sequel. She picked River City Girls 2. The first game is loved by so many people, it's hard to see how they could possibly mess up the formula for this sequel. The girls are back and looking more badass than ever. Expect highly detailed art, great smooth animation, and that almost tangible feeling of kicking ass. Limited run, of course. Already announced that they're going to be doing the physical for this in North America, but I think Japan and Asia is getting a physical release too. Europe, sorry, it's going to be expensive shipping for any which way for you guys. God of Resin went for a big gun, one that I actually personally forgot about because it's been forever. Bayonetta 3, the long-awaited sequel, at least 5 years in the making. Let's hope the action is worth the wait. I've played both of the predecessors. I have them on my Wii U because I'm a classic like that, and I think this game is going to kick ass. We haven't seen a whole lot about it, but it looks bigger and better. I think action fans are frothing at the mouth for this one. And I'm not sure if it's just the action or Bayonetta's new look, because let's face it, Bayonetta, she can unite the world just by herself. Government Fat Cat went with the game that I brought up in last week's video, talking about all the most exciting JRPGs coming in 2022. Now, since I've talked about Crystar very recently, I'm not going to say a whole lot to avoid repeating myself, but this one is published by NIS America, was originally a PS4 game from a few years back. Critically, it was seen as a bit mediocre, but fan reception was great. I mean, really, really positive thanks to the storytelling and the atmosphere and the style. They loved it, but you know, critics, don't believe those guys. They don't know jack. Boombox went for something that's not been like 100% confirmed as a physical, but we'd be fools for thinking otherwise. Cuphead's DLC is coming this year, and we all know they said they'd do the physical release once the DLC is done, so it's a dead cert. Right? Come on. Well, we'll have to see who, you know, the actual publisher is. Maybe they're a piss taker, maybe they're on the ball. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We've waited a hell of a long time for this DLC, but it looks really massive. Perhaps the same length as the main game, maybe? Maybe that's hoping for too much, but I do know Cuphead fans are chomping at the bit to get a hold of it. Executive producer Issa chose The Cruel King and the Great Hero as their most anticipated physical coming in 2022. This is a sequel sort of to The Liar Princess and the Blind Prince. This is a side-scrolling puzzle-type game, slow-paced, but excellently executed in its unique, beautiful storybook style. Don't expect a massively lengthy campaign. The first one was only like a couple of hours long, but this physical from NIS America includes some really nice extra goodies to make the price worth it. It looks beautiful. Our leading legend, the first executive producer we had, Dane Wilkinson, went with a Big Daddy Nintendo game that I think many people also forgot is coming, at least I did, Splatoon 3. I remember being very underwhelmed by its announcement. It was at the end of a direct, it was like a one last thing, a kind of announcement, and it was just kind of really dull. But you know, if anyone's gonna make this great, it's Nintendo, because Splatoon, we know the gameplay is great. How will they evolve it? We don't really know a whole lot about it, at least I haven't been keeping up with it. But you know it's gonna be pretty awesome. You know, Nintendo, they can reinvent the wheel, they can do. Cartoon Soren, lovingly different as ever, chose his pick as Made in Abyss, Binary Star Falling into Darkness. Now, before he told me this, I'd never heard of it before, and I'm sure you haven't either. It's a 3D action RPG that looks rather promising. Now, as far as I have seen, there is no trailer yet, so I'm not going to stay on this too long because, you know, screenshots are boring. But it looks good so far. The screenshots, the 5 screenshots, they look nice. Brent McLean decided on 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, the Vanillaware game, coming to the Switch this year. This is an epic sci-fi adventure which is part visual novel at times, mixed in with some real-time strategy gameplay as you take control of the eponymous 13 Sentinels. This is a really complex narrative which, with each character and events overlapping to create a story that many critics considered an essential experience when it released on the PS4 a year or two back. It looks beautiful, great production, value, and style. They and Robotech both went for the incoming strategy RPG, and no, it's not a JRPG, it's a strategy RPG. From Square Enix. It looks absolutely fantastic, and I featured it in the video a couple of days back, so I'm not going to rant about its stupid name again, but you should buy it because it looks wonderful and we need more of this. But goddamn Square, can you just, for once, two of our executive producers, Thorn Metal Luna and JCross7776, chose Breath of the Wild 2. Although admittedly, many others ruminated on the idea of picking it. Ruminated? Is that a word? Sounds a bit medical. Oh, my bladder's a bit ruminated today. I don't know. I'm an English teacher, guys, but perhaps the others didn't believe it would actually release this year, which is fair enough. Plus, I mean, who the freak is not excited about this one? Breath of the Wild is an absolute masterpiece, and all I need is more of it. More of it with proper Zelda-style dungeons, and I am happy as a bee in a jar of honey. Probably drowned. Tormented Souls was touted by Parsnip Coffee as her most anticipated title coming this year to the Switch. This is supposed to be a classic survival horror experience that's currently out on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC, but is coming to the Switch later this year to make sure the port is up to scratch. Fingers crossed about that. Here you explore creepy-ass locations looking for a pair of twins, solve puzzles, and avoid monsters. Trailer looks pretty great, but would be interested in hearing the thoughts of those who've played it on other consoles. Is it good? Let me know. Let's end with a game that's not being confirmed for a physical, but I think we all know, Limited Run will probably be doing this one. Shadowman Remastered is Punky Dooster's pick of this year. This is coming to the eShop very, very soon, and look, we're not going to be surprised if Limited Run's like going to do this one, because they have a big relationship with the publisher already. It's almost a dead cert. This is supposedly a complete overhaul of the Nintendo 64, PlayStation, Dreamcast, whatever classic, now with added content that was cut from the original release. Does it hold up? Well, we'll have to see. Now, that's it. That is it. So, let's jump into the community spotlight, but first, me. This week, I've got Kholat to show off to you. Kholat, I don't know. Red Art Games, they sent me this, so thank you for that. Now, this is a first-person horror game that's inspired by the fascinating events that surrounded the Dyatlov past. If you don't know what that's about, you should read up on it immediately after this video is finished, obviously. It's a really interesting mystery, and if that's not good enough, it's also narrated by the legendary Sean Bean.
Bastard.
Yes, the beautiful man from my city. Just a pity he supports Sheffield United instead of Sheffield Wednesday. Nobody's perfect.
A murdering bastard.
Does he die in this? I don't know. I've never heard of a narrator dying mid-narration, but that's besides the point. Is this game good? Probably not amazing, but, you know, Sean Bean.
Bastard.
It's more about the exploration, finding your way, being a bit creeped out at the same time. I actually can't wait to give this one a try, but I'll probably save it for next Halloween. You can get this from redartgames.com and get 10% off with SWatch10. And just remember...
Bastard.
Alright, on to you lot. Girly Gamer DM picked up 2 visual novels, one a Yuri, one a Boy Love. Both are supposed to be rather spiffing if you go by our visual novel guide on the Switch. Both are import exclusives with English. Sadly, Seabed is now well sold out. Hannah E.G. sent in these games a couple of Otome visual novels at the bottom, alongside some more mainstream titles such as Mario Party Superstars. I don't actually remember seeing that a whole lot so far with you guys, so maybe that didn't sell very well. Adam Karaskilo sent in Shadowverse. This was in contention to break into the top 15 Switch games of the year according to you guys. It was in the pack early on, but then trickled its way out of the bunch. But still, great card battler nonetheless. Psych Villain, I hope I said your name correctly, sent in this photo of the really nice edition of Robot Named Fight. I forget the official terminology for this edition, but hopefully you didn't miss out. It's a Metroid style game with fast-paced action. Adam J sent in this photo. Looks like that re-release of Sonic Team Racing finally came out with like the art book. I gave up mentioning it a long time ago. Executive producer Vay sent in this photo, a couple of games from Pixel Heart. Golden Force is a really fantastic action game. Really enjoyed playing it for my review. Nice bright cover art for the US version there. Manjir, I hope I said your name correctly, sent in their December pickups. Oh my god, that is a big old beast. Where do I even start? Hey, it's interesting to see that they picked up the guy with the butt face. I think that's the correct name for it. Classic guy with the butt face. Choco Loco James sent in a double helping of a Record of Lotus War with the goodies. Looks very beautiful indeed. For buying two, now that is showing your support. Chewit showed off a nice Christmassy photo showing Moondone, a very recent release from Super Rare. I actually know what their next game is going to be. They haven't like revealed it yet, but it is a pretty sweet one if you're into fast-paced action, that's all I'll say. Just a shame that they're putting up their prices up a little bit this year. The One, thanks for your support, my man. We can see Megaton Musashi there at the back. Thanks to everyone who watched the Japanese Gems video all about it. It very quickly became the most watched episode in the series, so very happy about that. Crit Cat finally got their hands on Pokemon Diamond. Haven't seen a whole lot of talk about this on Twitter, which is kind of unusual, but maybe I've just been so busy with other things. Executive producer Cartoon Soren sent in this game at random, a game that's not often seen in stores much these days, an indie classic that came early on in the Switch's life, Owlboy. Swizz sent in this photo. I should probably pick up 51 Worldwide Games, or whatever the better American title is. I forgot what it is, but I know it's a better name. McLaren sent in this spiffing edition of Death Smiles 1 and 2. I think Play Asia still have some of these, at least the one on the right. I'm not entirely sure what that thing on the left is or where it came from. Is that part of the collector's edition or a store exclusive thing? I don't know. Executive producer Easter sent in this photo showing off the standard edition of Rise Eternal from Forever Limited. Quite basic and understated, but if you want more strategy RPGs in your life, here's one to take a look at. Park Ranger finally got in Sturmwind. Sorry Germans, I forgot to ask my German coach how to say it before recording. It's a fine shooter from Pixel Love. Looks like a brilliant game that I think will be rather collectible in the future. Cyan Wisp sent in these. You can see the difference with the US Brain Academy and the European one from a photo early on. This one's green, the European one is a bit beige or cream. It's weird why they're different, not that I have a preference. And finally, executive producer God of Resin sent in this photo, a belated pickup of Slain there, one of the early indie hits on the Switch, mostly known for its brutality and badass soundtrack. I still don't think Juan is quite recovered from his review. Alright, let's have a roundup. John Santos, Pabs, Brian Retro Guy Gaming, Audrey, Stewie, Ash Torek, Cookie Corey, Starvey, Kraid, Burai Murian, Neverbirth, West Country Blue. Alright, send me pictures on Twitter, so what about game? Please DM me. Please, maybe don't tag me in a post anymore because I will almost certainly miss it these days. I'm sorry. But you can also send it to our email address, switchwatchspotlight@gmail.com. Plus, we have a Discord where you can use the link in the description and send your pictures there in the submissions section. Please just send me one picture per week. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of New Physical. Special thanks to our executive producers, Dave Wilkinson, God of Resin Boombox, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumor, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, J-Cross7776, Elisa, Punky Dooster, Michael Del Polito, Cartoon Soren, Robotech Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Parsnip Coffee, Government Fat Cat, Isa, V, Mental Traveler, and Grant Sir. Thank you ever so much for your support. Plus you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, then give me a fist bump in the comments, and then also tell me your most highly anticipated Switch Physical of 2022. Please check out some of our other stuff. It would mean a lot to us if you could watch at least one of them. I'll see you guys over there. Have a good one.
Bastard.